It's Wednesday afternoon. I actually just got in from work and I've got only 4 orders going out today for a total of $58.71. So kind of crappy sales for the last couple days. When I was leaving for work this morning, I saw a small Penske truck, not the big 26-foot box ones, but the little, I don't know, maybe 12-foot box trucks. I saw one going slowly up and down the road. They actually pulled into my driveway. They left. They went down the road just a couple houses. They came back and then they went across the street, and I was prepping to leave to go do a job. So I didn't pay a whole lot of attention other than the fact that there was a Penske truck obviously looking for a house. About 2 minutes after I left, I got a notification that my bubble mailers from eBay had been delivered. I usually wait till right like the last day or so of my coupon to order. Usually, well, I think I've only ever ordered bubble mailers. I wait until the coupon's about to expire so I can just reorder whatever bubble mailer I'm lowest on. So as I was driving down the road, I was thinking, I wonder if that Penske truck had my bubble mailers on it, because FedEx here, I've talked before about how horrible they are, and they only have about maybe a 10% success rate in actually getting me my packages. FedEx here often uses rental trucks whenever their trucks are down. My parents live right by me, so I called my dad and said, hey, go see if I had a package delivered. And I told him the rough size of the box, and it would probably say eBay on it. So he went and looked while I was on the phone with him, and he said no, there was no package delivered, which is very typical for FedEx. I'm going to try my best to not rant in this video. I've already did that in one a few months ago when I used the last coupon, and FedEx took a week to try to get me my package and still couldn't do it. I still had to go pick it up, and I've had to track down drivers. So it's a real ordeal. But anyway, they did deliver my package to the wrong house. Now I got to give them credit. At least it was the house across the street. Normally they can't even get it that close. So when I got home a few minutes ago, I walked over, and that guy, he's a neighbor I've talked to a few times, and it's a little bit different situation than with the neighbors who live on each side of me. With them, they could come to my house or I could go to their house and pick up a misdelivered package, and we've done that. But I don't know this guy well enough to just walk up and take a package. I wouldn't want him to think that I'm a porch pirate. He does have cameras. I guess I could take the box and hold it up and show them that it had my name and my address on it, but I didn't want to do that. So I walked over, I rang his Ring doorbell, and he came out, and he had already seen the package because they had delivered it to his front door, and he had moved it by his car because he was getting ready to go to work in a little while, so he was going to drop it off. So it did all work out, but it's just the ongoing problems with FedEx. I mean, man, they suck. And most of the time it does work out that I get whatever I order from FedEx. It hasn't always. There are still a couple items that are just in limbo. But at least I did end up getting my product, although it always takes legwork on my end that I really shouldn't have to do. A couple of videos back, I talked about the AT&T wireless internet air, or whatever it's called. At this point, I've had that going for about a week. And so far, I've been totally happy with it. I've ran a whole bunch of devices at one time, streaming 3 TVs, a phone, a computer, and I was doing some listing at the time just to see if things were going to start buffering or anything like that. And so far, I'm happy. I did have a comment about maybe checking to see if they were going to throttle my speeds if I use too much data. And I talked to the, I guess I'd call her a rep at my local AT&T store, and I did check online, and neither she nor online said anything about a data cap, throttling, or anything like that. They only would throttle it if the network is busy, and I haven't experienced that yet. So I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cancel my Cox internet, since I'm paying for both of them right now, and just keep the AT&T, because if it stays as good as it's been for that price, I'm very happy with it. So I did want to mention that in case anybody else might be thinking about getting the AT&T. And I guess, again, it probably depends on where you live. But where I live, I have a very strong AT&T signal on my phone. So I guess it's going to be the same for the internet. That's enough of me rambling. So I'm going to go pull my orders. In H16, I've got a book. And one thing I do like about these clear bins is you can kind of see a lot of times where stuff is at, and I can tell this book is at the bottom. desk reference to the diagnostic criteria, and it's sold for $12.95 plus shipping. In 01, I sold another book. Medicare and You 2024, and this sold for $9.95 plus shipping. In E4, I have some kind of mount for a Dell Optiplex. I think this is it, yeah. And this sold for $27.86 plus shipping. Back in my eBay room, in the A1 bin, I've got a set of refrigerator filters, which inexplicably started selling again, and these sold for $7.95 plus shipping. So here's what's going out today. Everything came from the bin store. Both of these books would have been 50 cents or $1. The refrigerator filters, I have $1.50 into these because it's a 3-pack and I paid 50 cents each. And the computer mount, I paid $4 for. It's Friday, about midday. My original intention was to go to garage sales this morning, and yet again, I didn't go. But the reason is because I haven't been feeling very good the past couple days. You might be able to hear it in my voice, but my sinuses have really been acting up. And even worse than that is I get headaches. Some of them are bad, some of them are even migraines. And it just comes from sinus pressure that's built up in my head when I don't drain. So I was up till about 3:30 this morning, and there's just no way I could get up to go to the garage sales. So I did feel like I kind of squandered the opportunity because there were a lot of them. But with any luck, I'll be feeling better tomorrow, and there are quite a few Saturday only garage sales tomorrow. There's one estate sale that ends tomorrow, and it's going to be 50% off, and I wanted to go to that. And then Sunday there are four or five estate sales. So the whole weekend isn't lost with me not going to the garage sales this morning. There's still going to be plenty of garage sales and estate sales to go to. I also have some of my regular work I have to go do this weekend at some point, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get to that. Maybe Sunday after I do the estate sales. I don't really know yet. Usually before I start the video, I have several topics that I might want to talk about, and I don't usually write them down or anything like that, but like when I'm not feeling good, like I'm having a hard time remembering what I wanted to talk about. I do know I've got one return coming that I mentioned in probably the last video. It hadn't got here yet. I do have some estate sale footage that I want to put together for just an estate sale picking video. You know, a lot of times I'll show you the items that I picked up at the estate sales, but I have some footage from estate sales that I didn't show anything that I bought. So I do want to get that together, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get that done this weekend. Editing takes way too long for me to have time to get to that this weekend. So maybe I can have that out for next week. I am still working on getting the stuff together for our Whatnot auction. And I know you've been hearing me talk about this, and it seems like I'm just not hustling to get it done, but I really am. But I'm going through my inventory and looking for items that I think would sell pretty good on Whatnot. I did have a few comments that I wanted to talk about. A couple of them are just regular. A couple of them are, you know, they're kind of doozies a little bit. Someone had asked about how many listings I have, and it's just usually a little over 800 is what I have. Sometimes it dips down to 770, 780. Sometimes it might be 820, but I've been mostly maintaining around a little over 800. I've also had a couple people ask me to put a link to my store in the video description. So I did do that on the last 3 videos before this one, and I'll do it on the videos going forward. Well, unless I forget. You know, I may forget, but at least most videos from here on out should have the link to the store in it. And I do want to say about the comments, and I know I say this a lot, but I really mean it. I appreciate those of you who, you know, if I have a question about something, I've been helped tremendously by people that know more about particular items than I do, or, you know, giving advice and things like that. So I really do appreciate that. And even though most of the comments are on the positive side, you know, you're always going to have some negative comments. So I thought I'd show you a couple of those today. No wonder your sales are slow selling rubbish items at small sales. I have admitted that you know, I don't always sell a lot of high sell-through items. So all I can really do is try to improve some of those. But with that said, you know, I still sell things that have been sitting around here for a while. So although they weren't high sell-through items, they still sell. They're just slow sell-through rate items. And given a choice, I would take high sell-through rate items any day of the week. But that's just not a reality for the point that I'm at with my eBay business. It really comes down to the fact that I buy the items that I have access to. I'm sure this commenter is a way better eBay seller than I am, if they are an eBay seller. So all I can really do is strive to be as good as them. However, I don't think the comment is 100% accurate, because it said small items. And yeah, I do sell a lot of small items, mostly small items, but not all small items. And it said rubbish items. Well, if you were to go through and watch all my videos, every item I sell is rubbish, or most items rubbish. I don't think I would agree with that. So it's kind of hard to take the whole of the comment seriously. When I saw the comment, I did decide to look up my numbers for the year so far. Now, these numbers are not impressive. I'm going to tell you that right now. I will say that they are on pace with about what I made last year. And so far in the first quarter of the year, I had gross sales of just a little over $7,000. But again, I'm also a part-time seller. I don't devote 30 or 40 hours per week to eBay. I did hear another YouTuber the other day saying he had made around $25,000 in that same time period. So he's selling 3.5 times more than I am. Now, we sell different items. He sells a lot more sports cards and sports memorabilia and things like that. And he's also full-time. So should I be sad that my small sale rubbish items only grossed $7,000 in 3 months? Maybe, but I'm not. You know, I enjoy eBay. I enjoy making those sales. Now, I do want it to go up, but much like the snarky comment, it doesn't really bother me. It just is what it is. So I will probably continue to sell small rubbish items and, you know, make a few dollars on eBay, and hopefully it'll grow into something bigger. But as of right now, I don't see anything changing in the immediate future. All right, let's look at the next comment. You refuse to allow a return on 3 boxes of diabetic test strips you only paid $1 for. They're not the right size for her meter. She cannot use them. You could have allowed the return so you could then sell them to a buyer with the correct meter. That is some classic Flipper Hall of Fame activity. This comment was recent, but it was in reference to an older video from last year. It involved a buyer who wanted to return something, and they ended up doing a chargeback. And I could rehash everything here, but it's all already in 2 videos from then. So I'll link those 2 videos here in the description if you want to go watch what really happened. It's pretty obvious that this commenter did not agree with the way I handled it. I still think I handled it the proper way based on the buyer's attitude and the fact that the buyer lied. It does seem that the comment is completely disregarding those facts. But nonetheless, I do appreciate being nominated into the Flipper Hall of Fame. So thank you. I've got 6 orders going out today for a total of $64.48. So with that said, let me go pull my orders. Okay, I've got 2 respirators going out to the same buyer. One is in E3 and the other is in H16. And these 2 sold for a total of $16.10 plus shipping. In E1, I've got a deionization filter. And this sold for $9.86 plus shipping. Again, in H16, I've got a 2-pack of Norwex microfiber towels. And these sold for $12.55 plus shipping. In H6, I've got a classic cartoons DVD, and this sold for $8.05 plus shipping. In 07, I've got a cookbook, favorite recipes from Country Kitchens, and it sold for $12.56 plus shipping. Back in my eBay room, and the last item is in the R bin, and it is a Kermit. And this sold for $5.36 plus shipping. the moose is most interested in that Kermit. So here's everything going out today. The deionization filter came from the bin store for $1. The Kermit came from Goodwill for 50 cents. The cookbook came from an estate sale for $2. These microfiber towels came from the bin store. And I'm not looking, but I think they were only $1. And the respirators, I paid $1 for each of these from the bin store. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.